Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Yes. Welcome into the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show. That's that show that you've chosen to download, and it's playing through your speakers right now. And we appreciate the hell out of you going to that place, downloading that app that you just downloaded. By the way, look out for the streaming app coming soon. But yes, we appreciate you being right here, right now, either by viewing us live or, you're viewing us later. Either way, we appreciate you. Subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff. I am Colby Sapp because that's what the title says. This is IndyCarTim, right that direction.
Hi, Colby.
Hi, IndyCarTim. How's it going?
I'm on camera.
You are on camera. You're a little awkward while you're doing it.
I know. That's how I am.
I
have a face made for radio.
You do, which, as do I. And yet we're on video as well, and it's kind of weird.
That's what the people want.
What we didn't have on video is earlier, I believe, one of the first times ever put into a Timm mouth was a little Indian food, and he didn't vomit. So,
was it really Indian food?
It was the Chicken 52 from the Chandni Chowk grill in Euless.
Because I'll be honest, it had a little bit of an Asian flavor to it.
That was a straight Indonesian or Indo-Pak as it's called. That's your Indian / Pakistani food,
Middle Eastern situation
with the what is it, the biryani rice? I believe that's what that's called.
I don't know that I was a fan of the rice. It was just weirdly shaped and weirdly textured.
It's perfectly textured.
Like it didn't taste like it was cooked all the way.
No, you need a little bit of chew with that rice, man. Especially going with the food and with the naan. Yeah, man.
It was al dente.
Yes, it was Al's dentist.
It was Al's dentists.
Correct.
More than one.
Well, that dish that you had there has got to be my new now favorite dish. By the way,
it wasn't bad. Like I would eat. I don't know that I would eat the rice. I would eat the chicken though.
It was very good. Very good. I was more than I've been there a couple of times. Got their butter chicken, got their tikka masala, and then just had that. And that's now my new favorite in the clubhouse from them. And the other stuff was really good, but
it didn't stink the studio up, and I was very happy about that. As was Vladdy.
Yeah. Yes, Vladdy. What? You have a bobblehead in there of Vladimir Guerrero, and he's just okay with it?
That's a stupid old ticket drop.
Okay. All right. Well, while we're bringing up ticket drops, stand back, burrito.
Stand back, burrito.
So there's that in that case. I did run into.
I don't know why I said that.
And Vladdy will be happy with that.
Happy with that.
I don't know. Man, are we already there?
You remember the context of that?
I don't remember
They had a new guy. They had a new guy doing the ticket ticker.
Now I remember the context of that.
And he thought he could do it. And dude, it was the worst fan flash / ticker you would ever hear in your life. And he was commenting on, I guess the Hornets were in the playoffs playing somebody. And he said something about, and like the Hornets won, and he just threw out there, and Vladdy will be happy with that. Like what?
It was the ticket's own boom goes the dynamite moment.
Yes, it
where
was.
It's the most horrible thing you've ever heard. And at the end of it, he's still going with planned shtick. And if you haven't heard boom goes the dynamite report, you need to hear that for yourself, because it's the background on that. It's like an amateur collegiate, television broadcast.
Right.
And a guy's doing sports, and all of it's messed up. He can't get a single thing right. He's got a mouthful of Jumble Bunny trying to spit into a microphone, and nothing's working. But at one of the highlights, he goes, and boom goes the dynamite. Everything else is effed, but he made sure and got in his catchphrase. You know what? We enjoy good broadcasting like that because that's exactly what we do here. We might screw up everything else in the broadcast, but you know what? You'll still hear clearly our catchphrases. They will still be there. I moved from all of that to I had an instance today of somebody not knowing urinal law. And it irritated
Oh no,
me.
urinal law?
Urinal law.
These are not written laws, right? These are just like assumed.
This is assumed that everybody follows the same direction. And if you don't, well, you're the a-hole. So walk in. I was just at a company meeting and I'm going to the QT real quick to get a drink because they didn't have water there the whole time. Asses. And so I go in to get a drink, but also, yes, I need to let go of some of my own water before I refill with new water. So step into the restroom and there's a guy like right in front of me that just beat me to the door. So he's like right in front of me and he goes to the urinal and there's 3 urinals there. And he just straddles up on the middle one.
Oh.
And before I could say anything, he let go of stream. So I couldn't be like, hey, dude, because he's already going. And not everybody has the ability to stop midstream what they're doing and correct their positioning. So aware of that, I then just, counted one over because there's only 3 urinals. So I ended up in the bathroom stall. And as I got out of the stall, he was finishing up at the same time. And he's a salt and pepper haired fella. Mm-hmm. So he's been doing this crime for a while. And if you know me, you know I am not, what would be the word? Bashful?
Nope.
In any of these situations. And I said, hey, bud. And he turned around like, me? Said, in case you weren't made aware, and I'm going to assume you weren't, you head into a urinal that only has 3 of them at it, and you're the first one there, you pick one of the end ones just so that other people can go. This has been in man law for...
And women don't understand this struggle.
No.
At all. Because I've had to explain this to multiple chicks who are like, who cares? I'm like, I care.
Yeah. It's a common courtesy.
Yep.
And by the term common courtesy, it's like you should just know that you go to a far end one so that if there's 2 people at it, there's a urinal in between and there's another person. Now, I understand if there's only 2 urinals there, then there's no option, right? And if
then somebody, it's a moot point, yeah.
If somebody really has to go, then the 3rd one is left for the person that just can't wait for somebody else to be done.
Right.
And that's fine. Nobody's qualms with that. But if you're the only dude there, don't head to the middle one. You've just basically said F everybody else in the room. And if I am, like super not nice guy, that can cause a fight.
And it probably will.
So, yeah, more than likely. And not that I'm a super nice guy. I don't think I qualify in that realm. Because probably
a pretty nice guy. You're nicer than you let people know.
Probably a super nice guy probably wouldn't even said anything. Would just let it go.
I mean, you're still a guy.
Right.
There are unwritten guy laws, guy rules, man laws, whatever.
Should we just write these down? Because I feel like
we need to make a book.
Yeah, we do.
By the way, I have a surprise for you.
You do?
I do, if you'll pay attention to your monitor.
All right, looking at it. Oh, dear God.
Oh, there's no volume.
No!
Damn it. All right, I have to find another one. Sorry I disappointed you. I really thought there'd be volume with it.
I was super psyched for Boom Goes the Dynamite guy. I'll
have to find it.
That's insane.
Damn it. All right, I'll try to find it. Yeah, so that we have to write a book or a pamphlet or whatever you want to say. I don't know if it wouldn't tell an entire book.
No, probably not.
About man laws and unwritten laws about what to do, how to be a guy. Like, and dude, I don't know, it probably could be a book.
Could be. I mean, there's some of them in there that I think even other people, even most other dudes don't realize what's going on. But one of the top ones in there is, even though you want to, in this instance that I'm about to subscribe, you should subscribe. I will describe. Boom goes the dynamite. And that is, even if they're younger than you and you want to, as a man, you'll want to do this. But if you ever see a dude with their chick
Mm-hmm.
and you know them, and maybe you don't know said chick or whatever, or maybe you do, unless you really, really know these people, don't go over and start making fun or jabbing the guy, especially if he's with new chick.
Right.
Don't go, demasculate that dude right there. A lot of people do want to do that. He's with new woman. I'm gonna go over there and F with him.
Yeah.
That never works out for that dude.
No.
And the other side of it is,
and you don't know what that dude had to go through even to be with that chick at that particular moment in time.
exactly right. He's might have told her all the lies about everything.
And that's okay.
And yeah, that's fine. And you're gonna go over there and just try and make him look like an ass for a little bit. What if like he's like, I'm a super tough guy and I don't take S off anybody. And then they go to a restaurant. And immediately when you get there, you're just like poking him with a stick and noticing he doesn't respond. So that is definitely one. There's a bunch of others that we can get into, but that is
You need to do a segment on that.
we probably do.
And
Just
then take calls from chicks.
our dudes, because it's the unwritten man rules.
Well, I know, but chicks don't we'd have to explain them to chicks like they don't understand.
Is that the exact definition of mansplaining right then?
Probably.
Where we both just sit back and spread our legs and just start talking about man things in like a fifth grade or kindergarten style, like talking down to them and just being like, this is what it's like to be a man, ladies.
We're going to go through all the 15 to 25-year-old ticket drops.
Right.
Spread our legs.
Well, that was intentional because,
I know.
As men, we like to spread our
We
legs
do like
sometimes.
to spread our legs
Just
a little bit.
Just get the ball freedom going. Nobody likes cramped balls. Don't mark that.
Mike.
You still searching for that and can't find it?
Yeah. I don't know why there's no. I mean, there's volume on the here. Hang on.
All right.
See if we can do this.
Okay. Again, trying to on the fly gather up. Boom goes the dynamite guy.
Yeah, apparently there's not any audio. Why is there no audio on this?
Probably he copyrighted or something. Became famous off of it.
Oh my God, I'm a freaking idiot. Hang on, Colby. I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Colby, how do you know your buddy's an idiot?
Because his name's Timm.
Computer, hang on. I'm on the one that's not connected to the.
You're on the non-audio computer.
Yeah, I'm on the one that's not connected to the board where we're getting audio from.
And that's amazing. Oh, there's probably audio about to stream, and so you can connect to Boom Goes the Dynamite Guy again.
Dude, he's having a bad day.
He's having a really bad time.
They're showing video footage and he's not.
He's heavy breathing.
What?
What?
I mean, I hate to laugh because we've all had this day.
I don't know if I've had this day.
Steven Jackson to David. Reggie Miller's looking good. He shoots a three, and it's good.
What?
Later, he gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
Passes it to the
The
man.
final scores ended up with the Pacers 63 to the Nets 61. The Associated Press of the All-American first team in college baseball was announced today at Utah's 7-foot sophomore center Andrew Bogut was the leading vote receiving 61st place votes. Bogut, who is an Australian native, received very little attention in the preseason, but averaged 20 points and 12 rebounds a game for Utah. The 4 other players joining Bogut on the AP team are senior forward Wayne Summers and Kansas, and Hacken Warwick of Syracuse. Junior guard J.J. Redick of Duke and sophomore guard Chris Paul of Wake Forest rebounded out the list.
Rebounded out the list.
Let's check out some of the scores tonight.
Let's not. I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh,
holy
Colby.
crap. And boom goes the dynamite.
He passes it to the man.
He passes it to the man.
Boom goes the dynamite.
You know what? What I want to have happen, by the way, also try and diagram that sentence that I just walked into that. You know what? I would love to have that.
I like other guys.
It's not what I said. That's Gandhi Gerber that said that. I'd like to have a therapist, like a now therapist, like that knows about, a lot more of the anxieties and things that affect humans and such like that. I want them to analyze that video.
Dude, he was not on his game. Maybe that was his game. I don't know.
And tell me what kind of attack that guy's having right now. It's some kind of anxiety. I don't know what else is happening to him. The fact that he made it through it.
What do you think his heart rate was?
180, 185, something terrible. Because I just
God.
Terrible. Charles Barkley word
Terrible.
went terrible.
It was terrible.
It's terrible. Man, good God. After that, somebody handed that dude like some Xanax or something, right?
Dude, he needed all of the Xanax.
Oh, dear
all of
God.
the, what's it called? Ritalin and all of the stuff. What's the stuff you take to, I can't remember the name of
Adderall?
it. Adderall. That's what I'm thinking of.
I don't think he needed any. I mean, maybe beforehand, but after that, don't give him anything that might spike him. He's done with
that was
life.
bad.
He passes it to the man, and boom goes the dynamite.
Boom goes the dynamite.
It's still so classic, though. It's classic that he was effing up all over the place, but his brain said, "This is our catchphrase. We're doing it. We're doing it sometime." And it was probably one of those shower moments for him where he's in the shower and he's like, boom goes the dynamite.
Well, and I like how his entire cadence, his demeanor, everything changed when they got to basketball highlights.
Right.
And Reggie Miller, because he like was into it. He's like, Reggie Miller shoots the three, and it's good.
Right.
Passes it to the man, and boom goes the dynamite.
You don't know. I would love if they somebody redid that replay and the guy he passes it to really just says
The man?
The man.
Back to his jersey. The man.
Oh, crap,
Jeez.
Tim.
Somewhere there that heard that, there's a bunch of old, fat, bald, white guys that own businesses that people call the man going, what did I do? What did I do?
What did I have? I was in this 80s movie. What?
The man.
The man. Tim.
Yes, Colby.
What day is it today?
I'm glad you asked me, Colby. Today is May 31st, Wednesday, 2023 in the year of our Lord. It is also National Macaroon Day. Are
Okay.
you a fan of the macaroon?
I'm okay. There's not many food items out there that I would just turn away just because I didn't like them.
Yeah.
But if somebody said, "Hey, you want macaroons or anything else that's in that cookie / brownie, arraignment of desserts," I'll probably pick something else.
It is National Autonomous Vehicle Day,
All right.
as if we needed one of those.
Well, you know what? We do. That's going to happen. And they need to probably figure out those stop them from running over people situation.
Yeah, there's no way you can talk me into that. I don't even like they have not the self-driving cars, but where you can let hands-free driving, I guess, like on the GM vehicles. I'm sure
Right.
Ford and Chrysler, they all have them. They like change lanes and pass cars for you. Like you don't even have to. I'm like, no, I don't want any of that. It is National Flip-Flop Day.
Flip-flop.
Which goes against my rule as a man rule. No grown-ass man should ever wear open-toe shoes.
And these would be like, if we were making unwritten man rules, this would be like one of the ones where I would just tell you you're wrong, and that doesn't need to be in the book.
No man should wear open-toe shoes.
I actually subscribe to the theory that no man should worry about what another man's wearing on his feet.
I want to see another man's feet.
You don't have to worry.
Unless that man does his toenails.
You know what? I don't even care. I'm not looking at your feet anyway. However you skippity flip floppity around, that's fine with you. Me too, because I don't care.
Oh, did you know I paint my toenails?
Did you know I didn't care?
Mark.
All right.
It is
Mark both of that.
All of those people all of these people that are listening to our show, the hundreds of thousands of downloads we get, are ignoring this day as it is National Save Your Hearing Day.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
As in case you didn't know, if you've ever worked with me in an area where volume had to be put on headphones, I have to have my volume up really freaking high for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I've been a drummer since I was 8 years old, and used to, in bands before they had, like actual sound systems, all the guitarists and such would just turn their amps towards the drummer, but still have them loud enough where the people in the crowd could hear it. So guess what was happening to the drummer, who, by the way, was back there, as I was a rock and roll drummer, shooting a load into a lady. No, I was playing drums, Tim.
I wasn't sure where you're going with that.
I was back there slamming cymbals.
Wait, that was her name?
Yeah. What's her name?
Her name was Cymbals.
Poor Pearl just kept getting it kicked to her all the time.
Her name was Pearl Zildjian.
That's right.
Work.
She was Russian.
It's also National Senior Health and Fitness Day.
That's right. Seniors.
National Smile Day.
I would say this, as you went to National Senior Health and Fitness Day.
Yes.
Every time I see, and this is a few times, there's a few of these gentlemen that show up at my gym where, they're 70, 75, 80, and they're throwing the weights around.
Yeah.
And two of them look like, man, they've been doing this their whole life. And yeah, they look a little smaller now, but they're totally grizzled and would probably whip anybody's ass that's in there. But one of the guys that's throwing around the weights looks like at any time, is just arms going to shoot off with that weight and just keep going.
Ouch.
I don't watch him.
That doesn't sound healthy.
No, it just looks like it's about to leave.
Something that everyone should always observe every single day of the year, and it shouldn't be one day, but I feel like even on this one day, nobody does it, and it drives me nuts, Colby.
What's that?
National Speak in a Complete Sentence Day.
I oftentimes don't speak in a complete sentence, Tim.
Drives me crazy. It's so disrespectful to the English language.
I try to type and text in about
that's a lost art.
Most readable form of complete sentences that I can. Am I the most educated as it comes to how everything, or remember my education? No, but I try. I try to use,
Kudos to you, because most people don't even try. Something we should have paid attention to 6 months ago, Colby. It is National Web Designer Day.
all right.
Boy, did we get screwed.
Well, I'd just like to say we're past that now, and our website is looking better daily, every day, because daily means every day. And I didn't have any more completion to that sentence.
It is World No Tobacco Day.
F that. I'd strangle people.
And World Otter Day. And I don't mean Ottinger,
right?
Or Steve Ott.
Steve, that's Otter.
Steve Ott was Otter. I don't like when they call Ottinger Otter.
Yeah.
I called Sean Sharif out on Twitter because he was saying something about, come on, Otter. And I'm like, oh, does Steve Ott play for the Stars again? And he was like, who's that? I'm like, see, come on.
Yeah, come on. I've heard that a couple of times, them calling Ottinger Otter, and I'm just like, no, that's not.
I don't like it.
I mean, I don't know what I guess the hockey short for Ottinger would be Otter.
Or just Ott, which is then elongated to Otter.
Right.
I don't know. He doesn't need a nickname.
Yes. Hockey players have nicknames.
Okay, you want to know what Ottinger's nickname is now?
What?
Suck It. That's his nickname.
Okay.
Jake, Suck It.
I don't know if that's an appropriate.
I'm going to start hashtagging Suck It. Stars Suck It. By the way, we are not talking Dallas Stars tonight, boys and girls. If you were looking for us to bury the Stars, they buried themselves. We don't have to.
Right.
So that's why we go. Colby, send us to break.
All right. Well, coming up next, we're going to do the good, bad, and the ugly, which is our birthday segment. You want to find out what that's about? Maybe you haven't heard it. Maybe you have. Well, then come back with us on the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show.
Hello, sports fans. Fanstream Sports.
Hey, you like golf? There's a good chance you do, because I said so. But what do you need playing golf? Well, you need clubs, right? Clubs, you need balls. The thing that people don't usually think about is that golf bag. And that's what most people see when they look at your golf clubs, like right off the bat. And if you've got a raggedy bag, it's not doing you any favors, bud. So get you a new bag. Go over to orca-golf.com. Orca-golf.com. Why are you going there? You're going there because you want a golf bag, but you want one that's kind of screams you. So you want to pick the colors. Well, you can use your own custom colors. Maybe you have a logo in mind. Maybe it's your logo. You're like Prince. You just have a symbol. That's the case. Dude, you can get your logo on there. Your name, just get it done exactly like what you want it done. By actual designers. Nothing goes out of their factory without the approval of the founder, Erica Bennett, who is just brilliant. We've seen some of her bags. We've got one of them actually in the studio. You know what? Dude, it looks good. If you want other people to look at your golf setup and go, man, that just screams Frank. You want that? Then go over to orca-golf.com. Do yourself a favor and use the promo code DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. I'll say that again, DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. So do it today, because Orca Golf is the best choice in the game.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
All right, guys, time to talk a little bit about Turf Life. You've seen the hats on our heads. You've been or seen the video of the studio. You've seen that the decals are all over the place. Turf Life. Man, it's the brand that salutes the consumer and industry players everywhere whose lives involve turf. What does that mean? It means if you play or have a business, or, maybe you're a sports educator, you're going to be on turf at some point. So you live the turf life. So go ahead and tell everybody you live the turf life by having your Turf Life window decal, or, the hat or the keychain or the something. Along that lines, just go to Turflife.club.com and become a turf head. That's what it's called when you live the turf life. You're now a turf head. And you can go join the club today, snag that window decal, or snag any other special Turf Life accessories, and go over there to that website, which is Turflife.club, and get your stuff and show everybody that, man, I'm all about that Turf Life. And then you just kind of raise your coffee mug at them and go, yeah, Turf Life, baby. That's what it's about. And then that's the end of the commercial. Ding. That means it's done in microwave talk.
Hey, listeners, make sure you check out the brand new FanStream Sports in-studio text line. You can reach us during any of our live shows or 24/7 at 214-937-0569. That's 214-937-0569. Text us 24/7, day or night, and we'll reply to you and make you part of the show.
Coming back at you. Now, more FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the Colby Sapp and IndyCarTim show right here on FanStream Sports. It is Wednesday, my dudes. We're having some fun. That first segment, if you missed it, make sure you rewind your podcast app because, good God, we're stupid.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
There it is. I didn't remember you playing that at the onset.
I did not.
Usually you play it on Mondays.
No, usually it's Wednesdays when I play it.
Wednesdays, my dudes. It is time for a little bit of this.
Yep. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Colby.
This would be that segment. Guys, this is called The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. This segment, I go through all the people that were born today. I find the famous people are famous to me enough to make my list. I write them down in a list. And then the option goes to you, along with Tim and myself, to tell us, and you tell us, who's the good person in this list, who's the bad person, who's just the ugly person. Thus the music, thus the way we do this segment. So starting off today, let's go ahead and get this out of the way so we can get Tim's question mark face out of the way.
Yep.
As turning 37 years old, no, his mom and daddy didn't name him this. Waka Flocka Flame.
So, I don't even know what to say to that, Colby.
Probably never heard one of his hits like Hard in the Paint.
Oh, he is a rapper and entertainer that has established a reputable legacy in his hip-hop career.
That's correct.
See, I know who he is. That sound natural?
It did. It sounded so Wikipedia natural.
No, actually, he's so on my what day is today. After all the what day it is things, it gives celebrity birthdays. And I recognize the name when he said it because I saw it when I was going over that.
Well, there you go.
I was like, oh, wait, I know who that dude is. Well, I don't know who he is, but okay.
So we'll then go to the rest of the list here. As turning 80 years old today, I could care about struggling. I want to kiss you. Joe Namath turns 80 years old today.
Wow. The last great Jets quarterback.
Was he?
I mean, who you got? Mark Sanchez, Chad Pennington, Ken O'Brien.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better than all of them.
He was. I mean, if you go back and look at like the stats and stuff, he really wasn't that good.
He won a staged Super Bowl.
This is true. He still really wasn't that good.
I mean, everybody says it was rigged, and I believe it. 100% believe that Super Bowl was rigged.
I don't, but
scripted, maybe not rigged.
I've never even thought about it long enough to find out about it.
There's no way the Jets beat the Colts, man, in Super Bowl III. There's no way.
That's why they play the game, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they play the game.
Mm-hmm.
The leader in the clubhouse when it comes to making people believe that his B movies are worth watching, and that is one Tom Berenger.
Dude.
And yes, they were worth watching. Him as the sniper or
Major League.
The substitute. That wasn't a B movie.
I know, but that was his second greatest role. How old is he, by the way?
He is 74.
Good God. His greatest role, of course, was in an ESPN movie in the early aughts called The Junction Boys, where he played one Bear Bryant coaching the Texas A&M Aggies football team in the early 50s.
Nobody watched it.
I watched it, Colby, because my dad was one of said Junction Boys. And I just knew they were going to say his name on that movie. But they didn't. He was nobody. He was one of the first ones that quit.
They didn't ham it up.
Did not ham it up, but I recognize a bunch of other names.
Another guy that's on this list that's in that era of he made crap, but it was enjoyable crap. Maybe you didn't think it was enjoyable. Maybe you watched Cabin Boy and thought, what the hell is this the whole time?
No way.
Meantime, Colby at that age was like, this Cabin Boy thing is hilarious. Chris Elliott turned 63.
Something about Mary.
Also,
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
He's how old?
He is 63 years old.
God, I thought he was way older than that. He was on SNL for a little short stint, too.
He was the main character in
Cabin Boy.
What was it?
I can't believe there was ever a time when there was any existence of a resemblance of Colby Sapp that thought Cabin Boy was funny.
There was.
That goes against everything I know about you.
It does. It does. What was the show that he was on that was on like Cartoon Network After Dark situation? I forgot what they called it at that time.
Nick at Night?
It's not. It's
cartoon. That's right.
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
Was it before Adult Swim and it was just Toonami or whatever? But it might have been. But it was like Law and Order SVDU SUV XYZ or something like that, where he played a lead detective. His last name was Eagle or something. It was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. I watched it.
Never heard of that in my life.
I know I screwed up on the acronym.
Eagle Heart.
Eagle Heart. Yes.
Is what Google is telling me. I just typed Chris Elliott Eagle and it came up Eagle Heart comedy series. Huh.
But yeah,
Right.
He was a part of the every letter for an acronym crime show that aired on Cartoon Network.
From 2011 to 2014, only 34 episodes plus one unaired episode, Colby.
We got to find that unaired episode and watch it. It probably doesn't stand up. Jordy Nelson turns 38 years old. Just football did things.
He's pretty good. Was he tight end or he was a receiver,
He
right?
was a wide receiver.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
No, he was not.
He's a Packer.
Person that you don't know on this, but should be mentioned, he is Montez Ford. He's 33 years old. He is a wrestler. And the thing that you should know about Montez Ford is he does a top rope splash that's, just jump off and land on somebody.
Yeah.
He gets the most air I have ever seen doing this thing. I bet he's a good, 17 feet in the air at his apex.
This dude should have played Creed
Yes.
instead of that other idiot that played him.
I believe he's Bianca Belair's boyfriend or could be husband by now. I believe.
Yes, he actually is. They have no children.
So he gets to go home and enjoy.
I'm comfortable with my sexuality. That's a good looking dude. He should have played Creed. I don't know who that other dude was. He was an idiot.
Got a couple of drummers on today's list. We'll start off with the lesser known by you. Andy Hurley's 43. He's your Fall Out Boy drummer.
God, I hate that band.
Some of them and some of the songs, I'm like, okay, that's a good song. So
you'd have to convince me that any of them, and there might be one or two that I like. I just don't know that it's that band,
Right.
So, with that as the exception, I've never heard anything from them that I like.
Another drummer that has to be on this list and has to be ahead of Andy Hurley is one I think, my top 5 drummers that helped start this damn thing that is rock and roll drumming. That's when John Bonham, he passed away in 1980. So,
man, I tell you what, I've read so many books about Led Zeppelin because they're one of my favorite bands, top 3.
Right.
Without question. And for a while, they were number 1. That he was just such an unusual drummer, like his style, his power.
Right.
When they were very early on, when they were forming, and you probably know this, in small clubs. Even back then, you would mic up the drums,
Right.
so you would get an even sound, and that you could mix it with the rest of the instruments. They never one time mic'd up any of his drums because it was already so loud. As a matter of fact, sometimes they had to tell him to ease off because you couldn't hear the rest of the instruments that were amplified over his drumming.
Probably the only thing that I was able to say I was like him behind the kit is that I was never mic'd up.
Yeah.
In any of the venues that there was no reason to mic up anything that I was doing. Play it loud, play it proud, hit that snare like it stole something.
Yeah.
Leah Thompson turned 62 years old today.
Man, 80s crush for me. She's still pretty cute, for how old?
62.
Yeah, she's still pretty cute. I still would, Colby.
Jim Hutton, 1979, passed away. But I had to throw out Jim Hutton because I figured you were in on the Twilight Zone and such like that.
Yes, very much so. Absolutely.
Probably the oldest date ever mentioned in a death date to be on birthdays ever, at least on the Good, Bad, and Ugly version, as in passed away in 1227.
Oh, jeez.
It's one Genghis Khan. It's his birthday today. I don't even.
Wow.
How do we know that? How do we know that it was Genghis Khan's
Because
birthday?
when he died, they put it on his Wikipedia page that he died. So
Okay.
we have a record of it now.
I don't know why everybody else that are on this list I put higher than Genghis Khan, but I did. Nate Robinson turns 39 years old. Put him above.
Nate, the basketball coach.
Yeah, the 5'9" basketball player. So
Is ahead of Genghis Khan.
it is. He is. So the others are actually okay. I'm good with putting them ahead of on my list.
All right.
As the new Penguin, Colin Farrell, turns 41 years old today.
God, he's only 41.
Correct.
Is he going to be a good Penguin, you think?
Yes, and I can't wait to see the Max TV series that they're doing.
With the Penguin?
Yes, it's going to be Colin Farrell's Penguin and his rise to power after what happened in The Batman or Pat Bat.
The Batman?
Yes. So it'll be a flooded Gotham and him trying to take over the spots that were held by the gangsters in front of him that all ended up dead. So you can thank the Riddler for that.
All right.
Brooke Shields turns 58 years old today.
Dude, she has not aged well. Not even close.
Well, because the first time we saw her naked was she was 16.
I mean, yeah, that was gross.
You shouldn't sound
That
like
was
that.
So gross that even had to happen.
Which I still don't know how copies of that film are still out there. I don't understand.
Oh, they're still out there.
They're still out there.
It's not considered kiddie porn because she was 16, which is legal in some countries.
Right.
And it was a long time ago. So the statute of limitation wears off, whatever.
And finally on our list, he's 93.
Still the best.
I still don't know if time could ever whip his ass because I don't think it will. It's Clint Eastwood.
Dude, he's one of the best literally ever, right?
Yes.
I mean, directors and actors.
He's a sometimes maybe
if
he's just going to jump. Of course, I don't mix entertainment with politics.
Nope.
Maybe sometimes people might not always agree with something that comes out of his mouth. But
does anyone even remember when he was mayor of Carmel, California?
I didn't even know he was.
Yep. Probably in the 80s.
Huh.
He was mayor of Carmel, California.
I would have loved to have lived there.
Colby, you eliminated some very important people. At least probably in your world. You eliminated Azalea Banks, a rapper, a music producer, and an actress.
I did. I just didn't think I couldn't imagine trying to explain her to you.
She's just on this list right here.
Uh-huh.
And Mo 3.
Again, I couldn't
don't know who either
imagine
one of these people are.
myself trying to explain these people to you.
All right. Well, they're not eligible for good, bad, and ugly then.
I went out on a limb because I thought was so well known that he's got to be on there, and that's Waka Flocka Flame. That was the
All I hear is Waka Waka Waka. Fozzie Bear.
So that is your list for good, bad, and ugly.
Colby, I'm ready.
Well, then give it to me.
Because I probably don't have.
Don't mark that.
It's too late. Give it to me.
I was too enthusiastic with
I
that.
was very enthusiastic.
Wrong.
Wait, we should probably check Facebook birthdays, huh? Since I don't have any Facebook friends anymore. I know. You know what? I looked Monday. I don't have any until like June.
All right, then.
Late idiots. Colby, my good. And it was a toss-up because I had one before. Actually, it was going to be one of two before Clint Eastwood came up. I cannot not have Clint Eastwood as my good.
Stephen King based his main character in the Dark Tower series after Clint Eastwood.
Man, well, how can you not be a good if that was the case? My bad? I mean, Genghis Khan, right?
Yeah, he's kind of murdered people and tried to take over the world. And
like
stuff.
Ate people's faces and things.
Right.
Yeah, Genghis Khan was probably bad. Maybe Hitler before Hitler.
Right.
And my ugly, Colby, and this is going to probably create a stir in the listener land.
Whew.
Don't
do it.
Brooke Shields.
Wow.
That's my ugly dude. Have you seen her? Do I have to put her on the screen for you?
I mean, I guess go ahead while I give out my list. You can look for Brooke Shields now and see if I can condone you putting her in the ugly list, especially when Chris Elliott is on the board.
Yes. Nope, she's worse.
I'd
rather make out with Chris Elliott than Brooke Shields right now. Don't mark that either.
No, mark that. I want that sentence as a drop. And I want it used on unsuspecting guests.
All right, what's the timestamp? Damn it. Where are we at? We're 40s. Okay.
While you're looking for that, my good on the list is, since you went Clint and gave him his as today's.
Enunciate.
Huh?
Enunciate. Make sure you pronounce that N.
I did.
Okay.
But you went there.
And then don't mark what I just said because
Right.
that sounded bad too. Jesus Christ.
I've got to go with the Colin Farrell, just because of how well I thought he did. And every single time I end up seeing him in a movie and people aren't expecting greatness somehow, and he still delivers it. And he's just, I mean, you can't go wrong putting Colin in a movie. You just can't.
I mean, for a while, he was like when he first started, he was huge, right? And like he was in everything. And then it seems like he disappeared, like after he did Phone Booth or something.
Yeah.
But now I guess he's back with being the Penguin.
And people forget how great of a movie In Bruges is.
I've never heard of that movie.
You've never seen In Bruges?
I've never heard of it. What is that? Is that a B movie that he was in?
Not a B movie. You've never seen it?
I've never heard of it. What is it? In Bruges?
In Bruges.
It's not even a word.
It's a place. You would probably pronounce it Burgess.
So does it start with an I or a B?
I said Burgess. In Burgess. Good God, that was the wrong time to look at my screen. You know what? She's just old.
No, she's ugly. What's better, A?
Oh, don't do it.
Or B?
Why even?
A? You know what? A or B?
I'm taking A over B at that point. Just in case we give A and B options again. And you just make sure that A is the wrong thing every single time.
It's always going to be B. B will always be the answer. And Colby takes A.
All right.
Up the A.
Colin Farrell. He's my good. My bad is I don't think you can go wrong saying Genghis Khan.
No, not really.
And my ugly is you weren't in movies because you's pretty, Chris. Chris Elliott. He is my ugly.
Was he ever even really funny?
Yes. Well,
Take it better.
As a what was I when those were out? Early teen, late teen, something. I can't remember. I don't know what year it is.
Mark that.
But yeah, I found it hilarious. So
all right.
There are movies that I find funny, like the first and second Ace Ventura.
I like both. What? There's how many are? There's just two, right?
Yes, the first and second Ace Ventura, and then Ace Ventura When Nature Calls.
Yeah, they're both good.
And Tropic Thunder.
Oh my gosh, one of the greatest of all time. What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people? No, I love those.
A dude playing a black dude, playing another dude, playing a black dude.
The whole quote of "you can never go full retard." You can't do that anymore.
No,
you can't.
Although I still use that word all the time.
So
and always gets me in trouble.
So if you do have a good, bad, and ugly that you think ours aren't good picks, or hell, you just want to have a text sent in, the FanStream Sports text line is 214-937-0569. You can, of course, use that even when you're listening to the recorded podcast. We will see it. We might comment on it on a next podcast. But that's your way to communicate with us, because we do realize that most of the people that listen to our podcast are our downloaders. In fact, nearly all of you are downloaders. And we don't want to miss the interaction with you. So through that, of course, you can tweet us at Colby Timm Show, or at FanStream DSP, or at IndyCarTim. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Or at Colby Sapp. Tweet us, Facebook us, whatever. But if you don't want to do that, then hit up that FanStream Sports text line. That's
an F you.
That's a good way to. If you don't like Big Red, then F you. Lance, we're going to throw it to Lance now. We're not,
man. Does he even remember what this thing is?
I don't know if he's ill. I mean, I guess next time he wants to pick games, we can have him back on.
Big Red likes penis.
Yeah,
I mean, there's that. Colby, real quick before break, got to talk a little Rangers.
I love this idea already, even though my friend J-Bone went to the last Detroit game, and that happened to be the one they lost. So
today,
yeah, congratulations, Jason.
3-2 loss today to the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
Sparky Anderson. Sparky Anderson still coaching the Tigers? Probably not. He's probably dead.
No, I think it's Alan Trammell now.
Alan Trammell. Wow.
You had Alan Trammell on your Colby Sapp and IndyCarTim bingo card. You win.
Actually, I think it's AJ Hinch, actually.
Former
manager of the Disastros.
Right.
Colby, 7 reasons why the Texas Rangers are one of the best teams in the major leagues as we head into June.
Oh, you know what? I'm in.
And we're going to blow through these. No time for discussion.
Okay.
Exclusive. By the way, I had a discussion with Fish the other day, who doesn't watch baseball, doesn't write for baseball. And, I occasionally write for baseball.
Right.
And I had him read one of my stories for one of the other sites that I write baseball for. And he was confused when I was writing that a pitcher pitched 3.2 innings, 3.1 innings. He's like, yeah, it's all great. But how does someone pitch 3.2 innings? And I had to explain what that meant. I said, some sites will use 2 1/3, 2 2/3.
Right.
I said, we as a collective like the decimal point better. And he was like, okay, well then whatever. Exclusive. Baseball sucks. So Colby, couple of reasons here why the Rangers are one of the best teams in baseball as we head into June. Situational hitting. They're one of the best offensive teams at getting hits when it matters the most. With runners in scoring position this year, The Rangers lead the major leagues in average at 333, RBIs at 254, and hits with 170. And that is somewhere in the last 5 years they have struggled mightily.
Yep.
As a collective group. And that's important. Veteran leadership. Look at the guys that you have that are young. Josh Young.
Right.
Who, by the way, Rookie of the Year candidate right now.
Well, when you're going as hard as he is, I mean, come on.
And Josh Young has credited the veterans on this team with helping him through this year, specifically Marcus Semien and Will Smith as helping him, which is weird because Will Smith's a pitcher, but he's helping the young hitter. So you have veteran leadership, which I don't know that you had since Beltre retired.
No.
Anybody that cared, like locker room leadership. Response to adversity. The Rangers have had multiple key players lost to injury this season early on. Jake DeGrom, Corey Seager, Leody Taveras, Ezekiel Duran. But the Rangers kept on winning. They continue to win. Seager went down. Semien stepped up. DeGrom went down. Dane Dunning, by the way, he got the loss today, but pitched excellent. There was just no offense today.
Right.
Now we won't talk about the bullpen.
Hey, we got a kid up that's striking everybody out, though.
We do. And we're going into starting pitching. When you look at the starting pitching, do you realize the starting pitchers this year have an ERA of 3.11? Second in the majors. Two pitchers whose ERA ranks among the top 15 in the majors. Evaldi with 2.42 and John Gray at 2.81. And if Jacob DeGrom wasn't hurt, his 2.67 ERA would also be in the top 15. Player improvement. Dunning and Duran were both players who were fighting for playing time coming into the season. They've both shown that they're indispensable to the Rangers right now as we enter June. Dunning has pitched well, both as a starting pitcher and a reliever. He went 4-0. He's 4-0 with a 2.06 ERA this year. And then Duran filled in for Seager. When he went down, Duran did 301, 7 home runs, and 23 RBIs while subbing for Seager. And then, of course, the offense we know is on absolute fire. The Rangers are top 10 in the majors in RBIs, which means they're first. They're first in hits, first in average, and 9th in home runs. They also scored 10 or more runs 13 times this year. No other team in the majors has even hit 10.
That's amazing.
And then my number one reason why the Rangers are one of the best teams going into June, Bruce Bochy. I don't think enough can be said about what Bruce Bochy is. All of these things that I just listed here probably aren't a thing if Bruce Bochy isn't here. And I'll credit, to a lesser extent, Chris Young.
And you say to a lesser extent, but a lot of this, putting this group together and grabbing these guys and making sure the right people are up and all of that goes straight to Chris Young. A little bit of an unsung, he's been with, the Rangers for a little bit, kind of hanging out in the office works and whatever, but he is working with the hitters and you've seen growth out of it. There's been a little Michael Young sprinkled in there that people aren't really talking about and how these hitters are adapting. And that's what he did as a hitter. And you can imagine him having as many skins on the wall as he does and talking to these guys. They're probably ready to listen. So, I mean, you can look at a lot of players in this lineup, and I know you can look at Young. I look at, especially, a couple of days ago, what Jonah Heim did. Like, he's back ready to rock and roll with people on the bags and bringing them home. And I love exactly what this thing's doing. My question will be heading into the block is, you're going after relievers. Is Jonah Heim made it to where maybe Mitch Garver, when he comes back, you don't need him?
I mean, I wouldn't say you don't need him, but you've definitely made him not a priority.
No. So if you're thinking about somebody to send away that you're not going to have to dig into your farm system in order to get some really solid reliever help, that may be one of the names you end up kicking around, even though at the start of the season, Mitch was doing things before he got hurt. So you may want to keep him around. I don't know. But as I look at the time, I realize it is time for, man, this show's flying by.
It is. It always does.
Sometimes we're doing shows and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say next, but it better be 5 minutes long. And then sometimes we get to the point where I'm like, I've got about 10 more minutes worth of talking to do, and it's time for us to go to a little break and come back. And when we do, we're going to have brackets, as he put an exclamation mark at the end of the word brackets, with the 64 most annoying people in sports media. This is group 1 of 4. Holy crap, we're going to be at that for a while.
It's a
in
series.
few shows. So get ready for that series. What's in Timm's Beard will debut. And of course, news and notes is happening. And I've got some people trying to, Dukes of Hazzard their way through life. That's all coming up on the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show next.
Hello, sports fans. FanStream Sports.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
All right, guys, time to talk a little bit about Turf Life. You've seen the hats on our heads. You've been or seen the video of the studio. You've seen that the decals are all over the place. Turf Life. Man, it's the brand that salutes the consumer and industry players everywhere whose lives involve turf. What does that mean? That means if you play or have a business, or, maybe you're a sports educator, you're going to be on turf at some point. So you live the turf life. So go ahead and tell everybody you live the turf life by having your Turf Life window decal, or, the hat or the keychain or the something. Along that lines, just go to Turflife.club.com and become a turf head. That's what it's called when you live the turf life. You're now a turf head. And you can go join the club today, snag that window decal, or snag any other special Turf Life accessories, and go over there to that website, which is Turflife.club.com, and get your stuff and show everybody that, man, I'm all about that turf life. And then you just kind of raise your coffee mug at them and go, yeah, turf life, baby. That's what it's about. And then that's the end of the commercial. Ding. That means it's done in microwave talk.
Hello, golf friends. It's IndyCar Tim from the Rough. I want to take just a minute here and tell you about our new friends over at Orca Golf. They make high-quality PGA Tour grade golf bags, and they're the best in the business. They're the real deal. They're the best bags I've ever seen. They even designed a bag for the Golden Bear himself, Jack Nicklaus. Head over to orca-golf.com and pick up a great bag from their catalog, or let them customize one just for you. You can use your own custom colors, your own logo, you name it. You work with actual designers, and nothing goes out without the approval of founder Erica Bennett. She's just brilliant. Visit orca-golf.com. That's orca-golf.com, and use our promo code DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. Do it today. Orca Golf, best choice in game.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com.
Hey, listeners, make sure you check out the brand new FanStream Sports in-studio text line. You can reach us during any of our live shows or 24/7 at 214-937-0569. That's 214-937-0569. Text us 24/7, day or night, and we'll reply to you and make you part of the show.
Coming back at you. Now, more FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show right here on Fan Stream Sports on this Wednesday. Coming at you live from our studios in dusky North Dallas, right off the tollway. Don't come look for us, though.
I mean, you can.
I'm just trying to make us sound high-toned because we're literally right off the tollway. Like on the side of the road. Don't hit us.
Yeah, we just got those lawn chairs. We're kind of outside the Freak Studio. We just hang out with them.
Lawn chair Fridays.
Lawn chair Fridays. It's just a lawn chair Monday and Wednesdays.
It's lawn chair every day for us.
That's right.
Outside in our open toe sandals.
And ain't no other way to be.
Gross.
But outside. You know what? You don't like them because your toenail fall off.
Probably. I just don't think men should wear open toe shoes. Women, yes, please. Please wear open toe shoes.
Wait.
Also open finger gloves.
Are you okay? So like the gloves I wear a lot.
Yeah.
You're okay. So men shouldn't wear those? Is that what you're saying?
No, men can wear whatever they want on their hands. I don't care.
All right. Okay.
I mean, I really don't care what guys wear. I'm just going to tell you what you shouldn't wear.
Does
that make sense?
No, it doesn't. Doesn't make a damn bit of sense at all.
So, Colby, it's been a while since we did a bracket.
It is.
And I found a big one. As this comes to us from the Sports Illustrated website offshoot called The Spun. Are you familiar with The Spun?
The Spun. No, I thought you were going to say The Sponge.
Close.
Yeah, The Spun.
It's called The Spun. It's a website, thespun.com. It's actually owned by Sports Illustrated, but they do like a series of, they always have like a little comedic twist to a story, or something. It's not an actual SI website. They aggregate a lot of the stuff that we have across our arena group sites, and so they're kind of our brother over there in the Sports Illustrated umbrella family, but
kind of our brother, so you'd call him cousin?
Like stepbrother.
Okay.
The stepbrother you don't really like.
I've never had that.
But you have to see him all the time.
Never had that.
I never had a step. Well, I did have a stepbrother a couple times or once. I almost forgot. Well, I was an adult when it happened, and they were older than me, so I didn't really count them as stepbrothers.
Okay, you didn't go up and say, "Hey, man, welcome to the family."
Brothers got a hug. So I found this huge 64-person bracket that they called the 64 most annoying people in sports media. So I thought we would break it up into 4 different episodes.
Okay.
And go over 16 to get the winner out of this bracket. And it's funny, one of the people in this bracket, as a matter of fact, the 15 seed is the Spun website.
Okay.
They included themselves as one of the most annoying sports people in media.
So in order to win like the matchup, you have to think one is more annoying than the other one.
Yes.
We're going after the okay.
And they seeded them. All right. So I've got the 1 versus the 16, blah, 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 8, 9, 5, 12. You get it. You know how brackets work.
I can figure that part out.
You know how brackets work.
It's not even March, and I know.
So we're going to start with the 1. You know what? No, let's start with the 2 versus the 15.
All right.
Because I want to save the 1 versus 16 because that's a tough one for me. Oddly enough. The 2, Dick Vitale.
Oh.
The 5 seed, the 15 seed, as I just referenced, the website The Spun. The people that came up with the brackets had to include themselves.
Right. Well, the Spun is not winning this one. This is owned by Diaper Dandy Dick Vitale.
Serendipity, baby.
My God. There was a little bit where I thought the bit was cool, and then it's
been like 40 years, though.
He just kept doing it, and it just lost it.
Colby, the 7 seed versus the 10 seed. At 7, we have Trey Wingo. Oh, by the way, I agree with you. So, yeah, Dickie V wins that bracket.
Okay.
Trey Wingo with a 7 seed versus the 10 seed, Mike Golick.
Ooh.
And I don't know what we're going to do if we tie because there's 2 of us. I didn't think that through.
Do you
have to phone a friend?
Do you have a quarter?
No, can't afford one of those.
I carry change. All right.
I'll find a coin flip website if we need to get to that point.
Okay. Mine is going to be, I got to go with Golick on this one.
Yep, me too.
Annoying.
Good. We don't need a coin there yet.
Just because there are more times than not that Trey Wingo is like, all right, I'm okay with this. Even when he's like, looks at the camera and it's time for him to get Trey Wingo serious.
Yep.
I'm still okay with it.
Yeah, I'm so tired of Mike Golick, like I have been for a long time. So we have the 3 seed, Paul Feinbaum, versus the 14 seed, Katie Nolan. You familiar with Katie Nolan?
I am familiar with Katie
Okay.
Nolan, and it's Paul Feinbaum
Yep.
by a lot.
Not even close.
Yes. By the
Agree
way,
100%.
next time Mike Golick ends up finding himself on some kind of radio program or whatever, if his points aren't called Golick knots, I'm throwing up. Somebody needs to use that.
Some producers missing a huge opportunity.
They
here,
really
right?
are.
Maybe we'll get them on our network and do it.
It's sponsored by a
Cinnabon,
or a popular pizza chain,
Italian place.
Yeah.
The 6 seed, Danny Cannell, versus the 11 seed, Tim Tebow.
I gotta go Tim Tebow.
Yep, me too.
Wow, we are agreeing too much, Tim.
I know, and I even have a coin flip thing ready to go on the computer.
Damn it.
So I'm not just agreeing for the sake of not doing work. Yes, I agree. I mean, Danny Cannell is insanely irritating, but I mean, Tim Tebow could have been the 1 seed for me.
Not the 1 seed, but out of those 2.
The 4 seed, Bill Walton, versus the 13 seed, Gus Johnson. This is an easy one for me.
Yeah, it's Gus Johnson.
Oh, see, we disagree. I don't have any problem whatsoever with Gus Johnson.
And I look forward to every time Peyote jumps on the microphone to talk about whatever is going on.
Because it's never what they're doing.
No, and it's hilarious.
It's like he
or
does a
fun.
show or something.
Well, while this basketball game's going on, let me tell you about the time that I did acid for the first time. Let me tell you.
UCLA was all the drugs back in the 70s. All right, we're going to have to flip a coin there. Heads is Walton. Tails is Johnson.
Okay. I think you're missing out. Johnson should be heads.
Okay, we'll do Johnson heads then.
Yeah.
I'm putting the coin flip on camera here, Colby.
All right.
Here we go.
Flip it.
Oh, it's Gus Johnson wins.
So.
All right. I mean, I'll accept it. I don't know. I didn't agree. So Gus Johnson comes out of that one. I just think he's very passionate about what he does.
I don't usually care what he's passionate about.
How about the 5 seed, Kirk Herbstreit, versus the 12 seed, Sam Ponder?
I don't find either one of these guys anywhere near like annoying.
I actually kind of like Sam Ponder.
And I mean, I think Herbstreit's just doing Herbstreit things. It's not annoying to me.
Is Sam Ponder annoying because she's a chick?
No.
Damn it. Well, then I don't know who to vote for.
I don't either. I guess
We're going to have to flip.
I guess just go with Herbstreit just because of there's never been a time where I'm like, shut up, Sam Ponder. There might have been 1 or 2 times I'm like, all right, just shut up, Herbstreit. So I guess I'll pick Herbstreit.
All right, I'll agree because I really Kirk 11 Herbs and Spices Street.
That's right.
We have the 8 seed, Doug Gottlieb.
Oh, get the F out.
Versus the 9 seed, Seth Davis.
Well, it's Doug.
It is
Gottlieb.
Doug Gottlieb all the way, right? Dude.
He's either annoying or super informative. It's one of the two, but it's never anywhere in the middle.
No, I ugh. Back when the fan used to play those CBS Sports Minute or whatever, which I guess now it's an Odyssey Sports Minute. Anytime his voice came on, it was just like nails on a chalkboard. Like, what's happening now? And finally, Colby, the 1 seed, Stephen A. Smith, versus the 16 seed, Reggie Miller.
You know,
mine's easy.
Oh, I think mine's easy too. And you look at it, and I might surprise people that hasn't heard my rip or just going off on Stephen A. Smith, but it's Reggie Miller, and it's Reggie Miller all day long.
Yep. Agree.
I do not find Stephen A. Smith annoying. I find the fact that he's found this niche and loves it and evolves to be greatness. So
he's got bits.
He's got bits. He sticks to his bits, and he's real quick, just real quick. For those that hate Stephen A. Smith, I want you to really concentrate next time he's on. Because it used to be in radio and in sports television, the idea that they either love you or they hate you, and that will get them to watch. Well, nowadays, what has happened in that is that the hated people are starting to lose out because of the choice that people make. Because now people have to actually choose to listen to you. So you have to become a little bit more likable, but still carrying on your bit. And he has done that to olive branch out to Cowboys fans occasionally, or acquiesce when the Cowboys do win, and show that part to make him more like himself, more likable in that stance.
Yeah.
So he's not always playing total heel. And whether it's his people or whatever, but the plan that they've put in place, along with his charisma, is making him probably into one of the, if not the biggest in sports, analyst and media. That's him. So I do nothing but hand clap for the guy.
Yeah, and I used to despise him.
Because that was his bit.
I mean, I used to he came on, his voice, anything and everything, I was out.
Right.
But now I'm in. I have to hear what he says and how not just what he says, how he says it.
Yep.
And the way he interacts with his fellow co-hosts. And he sometimes, because they'll be on little boxes on the screen if they're not all together, and he'll just sit there literally laughing at crap that other people are saying. Kendrick Perkins, whoever's over there, and he's just over there in his little box, like laughing. Right. And then they'll start interrupting I love it, dude. It's amazing.
So Stephen A. Smith does not get that for annoying.
Nope. There's the upset. A 16 seed Reggie Miller upsets the 1 seed. All right, let's do 15 versus 10. Dick Vitale or Mike Golick?
It's Dick Vitale.
Oh, see, I disagree. I think it's Golick. Golick's worst. All right, here we go.
Heads is Dick,
and I've changed it up here. Hey, there's Colby over there.
What's up?
For those of you that don't know what our studio looks like. I'm going 2 out of 3 on the coins, Colby, to make it even more random.
All right.
So 2 out of 3. What are we doing? Heads is who?
Heads is Dick.
Heads is Dick. Tails is Golick.
Mm-hmm.
It's Golick, Colby.
Man.
Golick wins out. I'm just going
to Golick knots.
Golick knots. Golick. We have Tim Tebow, the 11 seed. Paul Feinbaum, the 3 seed.
It's Feinbaum.
I disagree again.
Wow.
Like, I don't like Feinbaum, but Tim Tebow might be one of the most annoying creatures on the planet. And I'm including like anteaters and sloths.
I see you're taking it a little too far.
I can't stand them.
Yeah, right. You're taking it a little too far.
So who's who on the tails heads?
Well, Tim Tebow tails.
All right, Tim Tebow tails. Oh, it's Feinbaum. You win.
Yay! I'm right. I was right the other time too. Generator.
I mean, there's no argument. Yeah, probably so. Colby, we have the 13 seed Gus Johnson versus the 5 seed Kirk Herbstreit.
It's Gus Johnson.
Disagree again.
Damn it!
Neither one of these guys are annoying to me.
Yes, but Gus for me is the more annoying.
So like we should let the coins decide again. They've been good to us so
far.
All right, who's who?
Herbstreit is heads.
Kirk Headstreet.
Mm-hmm.
It's Gus Johnson. There you go. You're winning everything.
I didn't win that one.
Gus J. And then finally, Colby, Reggie Miller or Doug Gottlieb?
Doug Gottlieb.
Agree finally.
Reggie Miller only won because of who he was going up against as far as most annoying. I don't find him that annoying, but I had to put my fight on for Stephen A. Smith.
All right, let's go back to it as we're in the semifinals now. We're down to the final 4 for this bracket as we have Paul Feinbaum or Mike Golick.
It's Mike Golick.
Do I agree? I mean, the coin toss is fun. Let's just do the coin toss.
Okay. And
Who's who?
we'll do, I guess, Golick is tails.
Golick is tails.
All right.
Oh, it's Feinbaum. All right.
And all right, there's again when we end up going to that, one of us doesn't think that the other one's that it's right. So
yeah, and then we have Gus Johnson or Doug Gottlieb. We're going to agree on this one, right?
It's
Agree.
Gottlieb.
Agree. Gottlieb. Gottglieber?
He'll never be on this show.
And finally, Colby, the finals of this bracket. Doug Gottlieb, good God, or Paul Feinbaum.
It's Doug Gottlieb.
They're equally annoying to me.
Okay.
How about that? All right, let's go to the coins. I should have like a roving camera in here all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
like showing the studio stuff. Hey, there's what I'm drinking right there. Like that.
Yeah, twisted tea.
There's my lap monitor with Paige on it.
Uh-huh.
There's the production monitor over there. There's my TV that apparently turned off and reset. There's a trash can. All right. Oh yeah, we're spinning the wheel here. All right, who's who?
We'll go Gottlieb is tails.
Gottlieb is tails. Colby, Doug Gottlieb comes out of this bracket.
Cool.
As the most annoying person.
We might have a chance to have Feinbaum on the show, but Doug Gottlieb will never be now because we did this segment. He'll hear about it.
It's okay by me.
So
what are the odds we have Paul Feinbaum on this show?
Probably better than the Gottlieb.
Well, now they are. Like, what about before? I don't know about that.
You just call him up and be like, hey, is this Tim? I just want to know. Hey, bud.
Is that a better camera angle of me right here?
I am not the person to be asking and judge. I still sometimes look at the camera angle that I got. And I'm like, is it the right angle? Not sure. I'm not vain enough to care, but I have asked that. That's a bad angle.
What if like that? What if I do the show like that?
That looks you do the show like that, and the whole time I'm going to think that somebody just unmasked Darth Vader. That's
Let me look upon you with my own eyes.
We're stupid.
Luke,
we found it. If you're waiting on us to find the stupid, and I'm sorry for all of those people that have downloaded this show and you don't get to actually visualize the bit that's going on. Just know that Tim has placed the camera so close to his face that it actually looks like the first visions of Mars. When you're like, this is what the surface looks like.
You already have.
Oh my God. Again, I am so sorry. I don't even know what to do about this.
You're listening to live coverage
of Tim playing with a camera. That's amazing.
Of Doug Gottlieb winning our bracket number 1 of the most annoying sports media people ever.
And then, you know how much it would pain Doug Gottlieb to know that he won that first bracket?
Probably would.
In a podcast that comes out of Dallas, Texas, and he was in the same bracket as Stephen A. Smith.
That he started in the same bracket.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I'm gonna email him.
Hey Doug,
here's our bracket. This is how it came out. You're a winner.
You won.
Wow. We got a winner.
I appreciate you, bud.
All right, Colby, it is time for the very first ever, as I talked about it on Monday. Instead of just a stupid segment called What's on Tim's Mind, I'm going to say What's in Tim's Beard.
Well, if you were watching on video just now, you probably know you got close enough to Tim's beard to figure it out. That is
chips in there.
There's some scary.
A lot of gray in Tim's beard.
And there's some that was scary.
From all those young girls I date. And they like it. They call me daddy.
And now that we've gotten too much information,
one of them called me grandpa.
Let's well.
Oh, actually, no, I take it back. It wasn't grandpa, it was Gramps. Is that worse?
Well, no, you got the hip form of Grandpa.
I mean, we still did it. I still got what I wanted.
All right, so I guess even though you've known this was happening since last week that you were going to do a segment, I'm pretty sure that we don't have any intro music or anything like that cooked up.
No, because actually I just decided today that I was going to do it.
Because, production values not exactly so.
And I've got videos to play with audio, so.
Now time to find out what's in Timm beard.
There's that.
Timm has a beard.
And there's stuff in it.
This is what's in it. This is what's in it.
It just pulled out of my mouth. I'm not the good kind. Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to think of a theme song. This might be appropriate. Good God.
Oops.
Colby, have you ever heard of Banana Ball?
No. Good,
because I hadn't either. And if you had heard of it, this would have been a miserable failure of a segment.
Okay.
Like the last one. So there is a minor league baseball team in Savannah, Georgia.
You know what? I might have heard of this team, but go ahead.
Called the Savannah Bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Founded in 2016, they used to be part of the Coastal Plain League, or the CPL, until 2022. They won the Pettit Cup 3 times in 2016, 2021, and 2022. So they're not like a bad baseball team, right?
Right.
But in 2022, they decided, you know what? We've had enough legitimate baseball.
We're done with this.
We're done with real baseball. We are going to play only banana ball. So this is an exhibition baseball team now, touring with the same team, the Party Animals. So they're like the Globetrotters and the Washington Generals.
Right.
Does anybody know who that is anymore, by the way?
I mean,
I think
they still do stuff.
They do, but like everyone's dead when I saw them as a kid.
Well, and you wouldn't want to see them playing that you saw as a kid now anyway. They probably wouldn't be able to do all the tricks and stuff, and Curly's head probably wouldn't do all the things that it did.
This team has been featured on ESPN, in the Wall Street Journal, and in Sports Illustrated because of its on-field hijinks and viral videos. So they changed the rules. And by the way, they have over 6 million followers on social media, which is about, what did I read? Like 2 million more than any Major League Baseball team.
Well, let's get bananas then.
They're bananas, Colby. So here are the rules of banana ball. If a team scores the most runs in an inning, they get 1 point. Except for the 9th inning, when every run counts as 1 point. If an inning ends with one team at 5 points and a lead, that team wins.
That's confusing as hell.
2-hour time limit on games. If a team is leading on points at that time, that team wins. There is no bunting. A batter who attempts a bunt is ejected from the game.
I guess if you wanted to go home, right?
Yeah.
If you're
Oops, I bunted.
I'm tired of this ass.
Batters are not allowed to step out of the batter's box. That violation is an automatic strike. Batters are allowed to steal first base.
What?
Specifically, they can attempt to advance to first base in the case of a wild pitch or a passed ball at any time during the at-bat, which I think that should be a thing.
That's actually pretty cool.
I got no problem with that at all. No mound visits are allowed. Walks are now called sprints. After the 4th ball, the batter is allowed to advance as far around the bases as he can. So you're not just walked, like, you run to first base, and if somebody's not paying attention, then
just take off to second.
You keep going. Foul balls caught by fans are counted as outs.
But if they don't catch it, it's just a foul ball?
Just a foul ball.
Okay. That's a little. I think I'm out on that rule.
Ties are broken by what the Bananas call a one-on-one showdown, which can last at least 3 rounds. Each team selects a pitcher and a hitter to face off, with the pitching team having only one pitcher, catcher, and a single fielder during the first round of the showdown. In the second round, the fielder is eliminated. If a third round is needed, the fielder is back, but the bases are loaded. In any showdown inning, the hitter has to score a run in order to earn a point for the tiebreaker. A batter who draws a walk advances to second base, with the hitting team allowed to send a new batter to the plate. A showdown inning can only end in an out or a run scored.
So they basically tried to make a shootout happen in baseball.
Yes.
I kind of dig it.
The Bananas recorded over 80,000 total fans in 25 home games this year. The team that ranked second in average attendance in normal college level baseball, which is kind of what they were 3,000 fans per game. So I have some video here. Okay. So this sounds crazy, right?
Yes, but also fun. They should set the All-Star game to be played as banana ball.
I would not say no to that.
I'd
That
be
would be
in.
freaking awesome, dude. So I can't even introduce this. All right. Here's the most popular player. Would you rather see him pitching or hitting? Because he does both.
Let's go with hitting first. Yeah.
Colby, here is the most popular player for the Bananas. His name is Stilts Albritton.
That's just a beautiful thing you just did there, Josh. Can't let that one slip by. Thank you. 0-2 count on Stilts, and he fouls it off.
The other team has
Dakota
a 2-2
3
on
for
the catcher.
11 on the tour. Comes in hitting 273, awful respectable, higher batting average than Danny Hosley, although certainly a much smaller sample size, and he cranks it to left. Tanner Thomas backhands it, fires it in.
How many times has Schultz hit the deck?
For doubting the legend that is Dakota Stilts Albritton. Now 4 for 12 on the tour. He's hitting 333. And I mean, he gets all of his hits in situations where the Bananas really need them. They're trying to extend this inning. Dakota Stilts.
That just got to look like somebody knocked over a giraffe.
You want to see him pitch?
Yes, I actually now do want to see him pitch.
I feel like it's an unfair advantage pitching from that high, right?
Right. I don't know if I could understand arm angles or anything if I was a hitter.
How short the batter is, dude.
Right.
Struck him out looking.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to look like a giraffe fell over.
Banana ball, Colby.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in. That's not the weirdest thing
that
you've
is
ever seen in your life.
That looks like something that would have been super popular in like the 70s.
Right? There may have been stuff like that happened in the 70s. We'd never know about it, though, because there's like no social media to
promote it.
Yeah.
Now there is.
I mean, just like, I want to see one of those games. If they ever come like and play in that, whatever, Grand Prairie Park, or whatever league that is.
Right.
Dude, I would love, I'd pay $100 to go to that game.
I mean, that S is bananas.
I mean, you get all of it.
We're all drunk. We're all drunk.
That would be Tim's audio dump.
Yeah, speaking of that.
He just did that right there.
I didn't even wipe. One more thing, and this is kind of on a serious note, Colby.
Damn it. You can't go banana ball and then do serious.
I know. I was debating on whether to do the serious thing first or, but no, had to do banana ball first. So we're all familiar with, mental illness and all that and the stigma that comes with it that is now turning into not so much of a stigma as mental illness is affecting. Well, I don't know if it's affecting more people, but more people are admitting to it. Right.
Right.
For sure. As they should. Some of our closest friends deal with it. And, at times I wonder if I deal with it. I don't even know. I wonder sometimes.
If you ever see me in the middle of this show, because it's normally about the time that I scheduled myself to take medicine.
Yeah.
Some of that there is for, well, it's for anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And without taking it, I'm a different person.
So, we're all familiar with PTSD.
Correct.
Right. It used to be called shell shock and whatever. It's evolved over time to where it's post-traumatic stress syndrome and disorder. They talk about it, about people at war and things like that. So I read a really cool article after the Indy 500. This is sort of Indy 500 related so there was a race car driver, very popular driver who was killed in the 1973 Indy 500.
Mm-hmm.
Swede Savage was his name. And at the time that he died, his daughter was 3 months from being born. And so she never met her dad. And apparently the PTSD, and I'd never heard of this before. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it. See if you're familiar with it, if you've ever heard of this, because it also goes back to 9/11, which is when I guess doctors first became aware of this thing, but it's called in utero PTSD. To where if you're a kid and this is affected by, all the people that died during 9/11, a lot of their wives were pregnant. So those babies were born without knowing their mom or dad.
Right.
And also growing up hearing about how they died. Right. A lot of 9/11 babies are dealing with that form of PTSD. And it is just now 22 years later, kind of becoming diagnosed that these kids are now young adults have dealt with this their whole lives. And it causes more emotional illness, more mental sickness on them, having to grow up and deal with that, never having any type of closure or knowing anything about, how it happened. And so just now those kids that were unborn children of victims of 9/11 are going to the memorial in New York for the first time in their lives because they never wanted to go anywhere near it for good reason.
Right.
And that is helping them cope with some closure, being on site there where their parent died before they were born. Right. Well, I guess it'd have to be the father. Obviously their mother's not going to die before they're born. So Angela Savage, Swede Savage's daughter, who was born 3 months, would have been September of 1973. He died during the race in May of 73. And he died in I've seen it on video 100 times. As most crashes were back then, very fiery crash. The crash didn't kill him. The fire did. Back then, fire suits weren't like they are now. There was very little protection. Cars ran on gasoline. They now run on methanol. And so, yeah, unless you got a guy out of a car within about 10 seconds and it's on, there's nothing you can do. Right.
Right.
And it was in turn 4 coming down the front stretch of the race the front stretch of the race. And it was very early on. It was like lap 7. So this year at the Indy 500, she was invited by some friends of the family who go every year, of course, who knew her father and her mother. Her and her mother went to the race. The track found out about this situation, invited her out early. She got to actually take laps around the track in the tour bus that anybody can do. And then they asked her, do you want to go to turn 4? You want to just go you want to go to, and she was like, you know what? I do. I think I do. They took her to turn 4 where the crash happened. And she just sort of sat there and sobbed and cried, got it out of her system. And she said it was like a huge weight was lifted off of her to be there where it happened now 50 years later. And of course, like I said, we've all heard of PTSD. I had never heard of anything related to unborn children or anything. This was all brand new to me.
Right.
But I can see how it would be a very, very real thing.
Well, not only just growing up and never having that placeholder, never having that event to really kind of grab a hold of. It's something that happened before you were available to witness it. But the other thing's got to be said for how much is shared between, the baby and the mother while it happened. And there are a few studies and white papers that were made involving just the passing of supreme emotions to, the kid in their early development that can have, after birth effects. And I'm sure that there's somebody that, with this being dealt with now, that's probably already written a paper on how the effects of actually putting that together as everything's forming there, and then have some kind of traumatic experience happen to, the mother at that point. I would be interested, now that, understanding that this is a development for those kids, I'd be interested to see what they can derive from just the science part of it during the actual pregnancy. So I know that sounded smarter than what I am. I should probably shut up.
And it just, like I said, it was new to me, but as soon as I was reading this, man, it made total sense. And, we both know younger people, including our own children, that weren't around for 9/11.
Right.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember where I was when as a matter of fact, I heard about it from the ticket. As I was getting in the shower that Tuesday morning, they were already talking about it. Jumped out of the shower, went, and I didn't have cable. I turned on channel 8 because that was the only TV channel I could get with my rabbit ears. And I watched it all unfold on live TV on channel 8. And I remember everything about that day. But, people that weren't there to experience it, live on TV or whatnot, it's a different thing, right? It's like for us, Kennedy getting shot.
Right.
I understand what that was, obviously, but it didn't affect me personally because I wasn't there to witness it or watch it on TV. And so it's a different perspective for sure, especially if you're, one of your parents passed away during that,
oh my God,
situation. But
because I remember being at awe because that morning I was opening as the assistant administrator to Love and Care Daycare. That was my job title at that time. I was opening the daycare and people were bringing in their kids, and I was there like in my office, just watching this TV I had like tucked in a corner that, nobody knew it was there.
Right.
But I had it on just as background noise. And I turned around and looked and I was like, what? I thought at first that it was, like somebody, they cut to commercial, right? And it was some kind of movie that was coming out or something for like half a second until no, this is real. This is what's happening. So
yeah, it's just, and again, I know the stigma of mental illness is lifting, which is great. And I don't guarantee you, but I would hazard a guess that almost 100% of the population at some point, to some extent, deals with mental illness. Like it would be hard for a person not to deal with something, no matter how minute or insignificant they think it might be,
right,
to something where people need to be medicated for it. Like I get it, but I just think that everybody deals with something.
Right. Whether it's medication or it's some form of therapy or something along that lines. And not everybody needs all the medications or whatever, but maybe there's something that you're dealing with that talking to somebody that's not, somebody you rely on as far as to keep up with your daily life, but just an extra person that realizes about, mental illnesses or just the mental state as in general.
Right.
You look back at, and this goes back to also don't mess with people that are around mine and Tim's age, because we all dealt with the same stuff that a lot of you kids and stuff are dealing with. We just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So we just played the game of suck it up and let's go outside or rub some dirt in it.
Didn't have a name or a diagnosis back in the day.
No,
I never heard of ADHD till I had kids.
Right. Or anxiety.
Yeah. Guarantee you I had it though.
Didn't know what anxiety was. We just thought, well, I don't know what that is, but man, you need to step up and do something instead of just sitting there like a bump on a log. So yeah, so while we do acknowledge that it's great that everybody can find these medications and stuff, realize that most of us old folks, we all had this stuff back then. We just fought through it, or we're just crazy all the time.
Which, I mean, we are
Still
doesn't matter. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up and bring the room down a little bit. Sorry.
I tried to bring it back up
You
with
did.
a little joke there at the end that wasn't going to be too far
You
gone.
did. You did, but let's bring it up even more with this.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, me. Thank you for making it sound good. And I'm going to hold off on that story for a little bit since we just went through that whole Indy 500 thing. We'll hold off on the video for a second.
Oh,
Tim.
okay. All right.
We'll save that for the middle or the end because that's not great. But we will go ahead and head to York County, South.
You forgot to say the thing.
Oh, excuse me. News and notes is where I search the World Wide Web for the weird.
Internet.
All right.
And by God, I found it. Now let's go to South Carolina, York County, as David Joseph Dale Sandro.
Jesus.
He's 25. He was arrested following a reported incident at a Quick Stop convenience store in the small town of Sharon, located about 45 miles southwest of Charlotte, where he attempted to rub a store with the gun from the 1980s Nintendo's game Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt gun. Say that really fast.
Duck Hunt gun.
Duck Hunt gun. Okay, it's talking about mental illness.
Right. This, by the way, his picture that I have staring at me right now, his jailhouse picture. He's blue hair, kind of mid-length, and he looks confused. He looks confused as all hell. Because I'm sure all he did was
dude.
That. Yep. All he really wanted to go in there is because he was just as mad at that dog as I was back then.
That stupid dog, man. I hated that dog.
Laughing at me and stuff.
For those of you watching the video, here's the oh crap.
Here's the picture of the guy and
put
his
that up.
confused look.
I accidentally almost put Brooke Shields back up. Why am I here?
Yeah. It was just a duck hunt gun.
I didn't do anything.
I didn't actually successfully rob the store. It was just a joke.
Wow.
Let's go from there to Arby's.
Ooh, I'm thinking Arby's.
Yeah. So, an Arby's manager, Najet Lee, she's 63.
Jet Li?
Najet.
Oh, it's his cousin.
Yeah. She died on May 11th.
Oh, stay hard, Jet.
She got locked in the Arby's freezer.
Oh my God.
She couldn't get out because of a broken door, which does not add to the old question mark of, is it really roast beef or is it people?
It's roast beef. I love Arby's.
Just because they keep their managers in a freezer doesn't mean
She died in the freezer?
she died. I was trying to work as far away around that as I could, but yeah, that's a horrible way to die.
I'm trying to find a picture of the body, but I don't think they're gonna have it.
They're not gonna have. Why were you looking for that?
You can put it on the screen.
I'm not even gonna go to the rest of it because
Did you see the quote?
yeah. Do you want me to read the quote?
The one that I'm looking at?
Is it the one where she
Yes.
beat her hands bloody trying to escape the walk-in freezer?
Yes.
and was found dead in May. Realize, Tim, that
63 years old, right?
Yes. Realize, Tim, that I went to this for a good, quick Arby's joke, and then we were going to move on.
Yeah. Sorry.
I didn't want to stay here too long.
That's why it's your segment.
Now we're here.
How did we get here?
In the greatest headline of the week, as we go to the NBCnews.com for their great headline. And I'm going to read it.
Oh, no.
As soon as I can catch enough composure. New York fertility doctor accused of using own sperm dies when hand-built plane crashes.
I'm sorry, what?
New York fertility doctor accused of using own sperm dies when hand-built plane crashes. This just goes to show you that not both things that he was doing is probably not the best thing to just use your hand for.
Great. Hang on. Let me find it. Hang on.
Dr. Morris Wortman, 72.
Morris Wortman?
Yeah, 72 of Rochester was a passenger in the experimental aircraft that went down Sunday in a pasture in Orleans County. If somebody asks you, hey, you want to fly around in an experimental aircraft that I built with these two hands?
I'm out. I don't even trust my own two hands for that. Never fly in a plane that you built, Colby, or that I built. Oh, my Lord.
I still love the headline, and I'm going to read it one more time.
Please.
New York fertility doctor accused of using own sperm dies when hand-built plane crashes. I know that probably what Dr. Morris Wortman was known for was the fact that he was a fertility doctor and sometimes just injected women with his own man jubba juice.
What did we call it last or Monday? Splooge. Man, splooge.
But in his death, in the headline, when he dies by being a passenger of a hand-built experimental plane, you don't have to throw it back there that he was accused of that in the headline.
Wow.
Damn it.
Like, okay,
I mean,
Colby, I write headlines, like write for a living. I write headlines.
Uh-huh.
And then we have the deck, which is the part right below the headline, right? It just gives you a little bit more information.
Right.
This was my story. I would have noted in the actual headline, New York fertility doctor dies when hand-built plane crashes.
Right.
And then in the deck, I would have said Dr. So-and-so had been accused at whatever point of using his own sperm to impregnate, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is why I don't write for NBC News, because clearly they know how to do it better.
That headline is gold. It's gold.
Wow.
It's gold. Let's go to Zealand Nude Beach, where I'm guessing this is in New Zealand.
Is there an Old Zealand?
They just called it a Zealand Nude Beach, and then a lot of this is written in foreign languages. But they are putting up no sex signs on the nude beach.
Is it spelled Z-E-E?
Yes.
That is in the Netherlands, Colby.
All right, then. Well, in the Netherlands, they've got nude beaches, but they're tired of you doing the inclined hokey pokey while you're at the nude beach.
What else you do? Eat lunch?
Yeah. And they've actually put a sign up that the sign, I don't know the words here.
Good day, mate.
But the sign has the whole like circle with a line through it. And then it has a couple of sand humps. So no humping. Get that. Also, no, and then it has 2 feet spread apart and then 2 feet facing the other way in the middle of those 2 feet. So none of that. And if you see any of that, they've got a number to call to complain about it. my question, of course, is if you're in a nude beach and your lady goes with you, or you're just at a nude beach and you see a lady there and she starts talking to you while your penis is out, and y'all start getting along a little farther, there's nothing stopping you. I mean, you're not worried about anybody, of course, seeing your goods because your goods are out. So there's yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. That's obviously no humping or no standing in the middle of somebody else.
Denying niet betrayden, geen sex, kalamatitan.
That's right. That means if you spot humping, call this number.
That's hysterical. I love the one with the feet.
The feet. Yes.
And it says geen sex, SEKS.
So none of that.
Don't do that.
Of course, I still say there's nothing stopping you. I mean, normally in order to do that, you've got to do some unzipping or something along that lines. You're already,
you're already there.
Nuts to the wind.
Have you ever been to a nude beach?
I have not. And mostly because everybody that's told me about nude beaches has been like, don't go. There's just a bunch of dudes hanging out waiting for women to show up.
So that is true, I think, of an American nude beach.
Okay.
And I've never been overseas to Europe or where these are supposedly like in the south of France and all that, or Italy, Italia.
I figure over there you're going to see a lot of fur.
But I've talked to people who have experienced those places.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, oh, no, it's what you would think of when you think of nude beaches. They're all pretty people, and they're all built, and they're all doing it. Like I'm like, well, but here in America, it's just a bunch of big, fat, overweight, bald white guys like me.
Right.
Going to try to check out women. But instead, it's just all the other guys like me trying to check out women.
Right. It's like they tell you about that upper room above the sex video place.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, all the good stuff happens there. And then you show up and there's just a bunch of dudes waiting on the one chick to show up. And you're like, man, I'm out.
Oh, God.
I'm out. I don't want to be after Jorge and Sam.
Are they a couple?
No, they're just waiting in line for whatever chick shows up.
Oh, okay. We'll have to share her, though.
Yeah, well, because it's only one of them, Tim. Obviously.
I'm first. Dibs.
So let's go from there to Georgia because we have to, and this is the last story I got. Now, I'll set this up. Have you, and I talked to Tim in pre-show meeting that we had where he was sitting down doing something else, and I was talking to him about stuff I was going to do. And
that's what we call pre-show meeting.
He shakes his head like, all right, cool. And I asked him, and I'll ask you the same. Driving down the road, you're in your car. And it primarily happens when you're the only person in your car. Because if you're driving around with somebody else, you probably think, I can't do anything like that because they didn't agree to it. But you're in your car and you're going down the freeway or whatever, and you see one of those trucks that have all the cars stacked on them, or that look like that if all those cars weren't on there, you could just ramp up off of that thing and just Dukes of Hazzard your way into a jump. And your brain will tell you, that sounds like a good idea, until you have an argument with your brain and go, stupid. You'll never land it. And we're still making car payments. This is bad. Well, there's a dude in Loudness County, Georgia. That's a place, by the way. That thought, no, it's a great idea, and did it. And we have the video. Tim's going to play it for you.
Wait, where'd it go? Oh,
at their last 1050 rollover. Passing second EMS immediate roll. At their last 1050 rollover. Passing second EMS immediate roll.
This is epic.
Yes.
Previous 1050, 84 west.
believe it was a.
Good.
I want to say it was a Camry.
Camry.
Yeah.
Roll over. Last and second EMS
now-
immediate roll.
People, of course, went to the hospital over this, but nobody's passed.
Nobody died.
Previous
Huh?
1050,
Nobody
84 west.
But the gray Camry hit that tow truck at a good speed.
Hauling.
It was hauling.
Like the General Lee running from Roscoe.
Right. By the way, the music's throwing me off.
Oh,
The
sorry.
other music.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the other music was on.
The car that he hit was also a Camry. It was a black Camry
Oh jeez.
that he landed on. That one had a police officer coming to the scene of everything else that was going on in it. The police officers in the hospital, the people that were in the car are in the hospital, but it looks like everybody's going to make it just fine.
What are the odds this was intentional?
It was happened in Georgia, where the Dukes of Hazzard's supposed to be out of.
Hazard County.
Hazard County, Georgia.
I think that Camry had a flag painted on top of it.
No,
Think it
Yeah.
will when it's repaired.
and probably. You know what? It can't because it didn't make the jump.
That's true. It
It
was a
didn't survive.
bad General Lee.
It was a bad. It was. Yeah.
That's why you don't build the General Lee out of a Camry.
No, it's got to be an old Charger. Not one of these new Chargers. It's an
Yeah.
old Charger. So, yeah, some people were hit by flying debris or whatever, but again, everybody's okay. But
Greatest video I've ever seen.
somebody finally saw that same ramp that you and I have seen
Every
and
time.
said, no, F it. I'm hitting it.
Dude, I want to say a couple of years ago, I was behind, like in traffic. There was a wreck, and that flatbed was in the lane where I was in with the flatbed down, right?
Right.
I remember taking a picture of it from the car and posting it on like Facebook and Twitter and all that, and it just said, "My dream Dukes of Hazzard moment." Well, this guy carried it out though.
He did.
At speed.
At speed. And probably young enough that didn't know what a Dukes of Hazzard moment was.
Probably.
So there you go. That's news and notes, everybody.
Wow. Colby, I dare say this has been one of the more epic Colby and Timm shows. We had Dukes of Hazzard.
We did. We had a bracket about, and we went stupid on the first segment, and boom goes the dynamite. We've covered everything. When Alan Trammell was mentioned on a show, you know we've gone to the depths of every part of our body to bring you this episode, and we would just like to congratulate you if you've made it all the way to the end.
We had a guy in stilts playing baseball.
We did have a guy in stilts playing baseball, and it wasn't even made up by us. It was
No.
already happening in the world. So, with all that being said, Timm, as we now know, we probably need to be diagnosed with other mental
God,
illnesses.
all of it.
Just like to tell you guys, we appreciate, and we've noticed the amount of downloads that have gone up on this show. We know our fan base is growing. We appreciate any and all of you that have suggested us to other people that you think that they might also enjoy our show, and we appreciate the growth. We appreciate everything that you as the listener are doing for us as far as just telling others about us. But most of all, we would and totally love to hear from you guys interaction-wise, from the fan stream to the Twitter to anything like that. There's enough of you. We know, we see the downloads. There's enough of you out there that probably have interesting ideas about segments or anything that you would like to hear. And we want to make this a show that involves you as much as possible. And of course, we can't do that without the interaction from you. So those 15,000 folks that downloaded that last episode that we threw up,
Let's double it.
let's double it. But let's also, hey guys, talk to us.
We appreciate y'all's show. That would be great to hear.
That'd be great to hear. Or, hey, you guys suck. I don't care what it is. Talk
I'd love to
us.
hear that.
talk to us, and we'll appreciate all the getting back and forth, because we want to make this show for you guys, and we can do that. You just let us know who you guys are, and we would appreciate the hell out of that. But until we get to Monday, just know we're coming back with another show, ready for you to download it, ready for you to listen to us, and know you're appreciated by us here at the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show. And with that, I'm not even going to throw it back to Tim. Y'all have a good night now.